left.
It's too many.
Okay. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please stand to the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence for Sergeant Lawing, his family, his friends, the police department, the fire department, and all the town employees. Thank you. So we move on to unfinished business.
So, Mr. President,
Yes,
make a motion to approve request of Rhode Island Energy, Narragansett Electric and Verizon New England to install JOP 15-50 on Shannock Hill Road, station WR number 30991383.
Second.
all those in favor?
Point of order.
One question.
Yes,
If we're going into executive session to discuss this other thing which involves green energy, why should we approve these pole placements if we're still talking about something else?
The two aren't connected, Mr. Mass.
They're not.
No, they are not.
Thank you.
okay. How do you vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Nay.
I was calling a point of order earlier,
Oh, I thought you were.
because I just wanted a little bit of a discussion, like
Okay. I'm
why this is coming before us again for the public. Because we received no new materials, but something like it's coming before us without anything new. So I think like we just kind of need a little bit more information as far as why.
Ms. Wilcox, I can address that. The last time we were here, when Narragansett Electric came for the pole placement, or the applicant came for the pole placement, there was an issue of whether or not they needed to apply for a special use permit. Because the site plan overall included the wires and the poles that went along Shannock Road, right, and also Beaver River in the public right of way. And after some further research and digging into it a little bit more, the zoning board has jurisdiction over the actual piece of land, just the site of land. Outside of that, the zoning board doesn't have jurisdiction or authority. You as the town council do have that authority, as it's also in a public right of way. So just as you would approve a pole placement on any other occasion, you could do so on this one. And the issue before you is, on the plan, it was going to be below ground. Now these two poles are going to be above ground. So you have the authority to approve that. No, a special use permit is not required for this pole placement. So that's the change as to why it's here again. None of the background information has changed. But I know that I believe the applicant is here. Yes, the applicant is here, his counsel, if you wanted to ask them, and also the representative from Rhode Island Energy is here as well, Mr. Watson, by Zoom. So if you had questions for them, certainly you could address those questions to them, but that is the change.
All right, Mark,
Go ahead.
is the placement of these okay with the concerns from Mr. Pexino?
Mr. Pexino's attorney is online. I did speak to Mr. Martland yesterday. And I'm going to let him address that specifically, but from what I understood in our conversation, Mr. Pexino did not have an issue as to this. So I did have that conversation with Mr. Martland, but I don't want to speak for him. He is online.
There was a letter in the minutes. I thought the letter said that he was okay with it.
And
Certainly, Mr. Martland can speak for himself. He is here.
yeah, and the issue that was brought up the last meeting was the special use permit,
Yes.
which, you know, that was the whole sticking point really behind this. And now that we don't need to have them get a special use permit, I think it's good. You know what I mean? That was clarified. Thank you.
Okay,
I just think that not being in favor of the project as a whole, like, and the pending litigation, I don't understand how it's separate, kind of to Vice President Nussini's point, like, if we're pursuing this litigation, then would this decision here then affect that? So I don't see why it wouldn't.
The decision, the appeal to the Supreme Court is dealing with whether or not the Superior Court should have overturned the decision of the zoning, right? This is just pole placement outside of the scope of the special use permit. Special use permit was the issue that was up on appeal. The zoning board didn't have authority over anything outside of that parcel of land. So based on that, this pole placement would not affect the Supreme Court appeal that the town has taken against this applicant. So the two are separate. That may or may not influence your vote, I don't know. But does that answer your question?
It does.
any further discussion or questions? So we have does anyone want to change their vote that's voted already?
No, the gentleman here, do we want to hear from the gentleman if you have questions?
Oh, I don't have any really. It's
I just want to clarify a point, if I can, Mr. President.
sure.
So the applicant is Rhode Island Energy. The user is going to be GD Richmond, which is the occupant of the real estate for the solar connection. But the application before you is not our application, so I don't want that to be intertwined with what is going on in the Superior Court or the Supreme Court. This is simply an interconnection per your ordinance. And Rhode Island Energy is online. Mr. Watson represents them, but there is no dispute that we are going to be the user of that energy or that energization of the solar system. That's the purpose for it. But again, we're not the applicant. We don't own the equipment.
Mr. Mancini is correct. So the applicant is not the same as the parties in.
So the
Supreme Court appeal.
poles will be installed by Rhode Island Energy, not Green Energy or
Correct. No,
Green
they've been owned by.
Development or, yeah.
All right, so you wait on me? I'm not sure what you're doing there, Ward.
Yes, I am.
All right, so nobody else has changed their vote. I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
Did Rich vote?
Yes,
Or what did he say?
no.
Mark, did you vote, Mr. President?
Yes, I did. I voted no. It was yay, nay, nay. Okay, moving on to unfinished business. Item number 2. Approval of the request of Rhode Island Energy Narragansett to install new P1, P2, and P3 with anchor install and 12-foot lead length on P3 on Shannock Hill Road, petition WR number 30991420.
Move to approve?
Second?
And Mr. President, for discussion, just purposes, this is just basically kind of the same situation for the public.
Is this the same situation in polls or is this something else? Yes. Who'd like to speak?
He's the attorney for Rhode Island Energy.
Okay, Mr. Watson, please let us know.
So these poles are part of the same interconnection project, but they are located down by, is it South County Trail? Is that the intersection?
Oh, Route 138 or?
Route 2.
Route 2.
Route 2.
Oh, okay,
So it's further down, but it is part of the same improvements that are required for the interconnection.
Right.
And there also, I should add that there are existing poles at this location. What they're doing is moving the poles from one side of the street to the other. And this is in the area where there's already existing overhead infrastructure.
Right. Okay, we have
I was
a,
asking to move the 3 from one side of the road to the other.
okay.
They're already above ground.
Mhm. Yes. Yes. Go ahead.
I'm just curious as to why they're voting no. We haven't had any concerns with the town prior for any additional poles to be set. Those poles don't just serve green. I mean, they're not energized yet, but they currently serve other customers. We're upgrading it to spacer cable, which means it will be more reliable. We always take the opportunity when we're connecting a new customer to look at all the existing assets and upgrade where needed. And I'm just don't know why. I understand concerns with green and the town didn't want the solar site, but that has nothing to do with Rhode Island Energy. And I'm not sure why we've always had a good relationship. These polls have never been an issue before. And why are they voting no? We can't, Rhode Island Energy can't add 3 new poles on an existing line.
We haven't voted on that one yet.
No, the 2 people said no on the first one. That's what I'm inquiring on.
No, 3 people said no on the first one.
That's what I'm looking for information. What's driving it and the concern? We've never encountered this before. And quite honestly, we do need the work. And I've been communicating to our resource department that for months it should be released. And we had a one-off special call with the council and every member and reiterated the laws, the zoning. And I'm surprised that there's still not an approval and some are still saying no.
Okay, so
What
the-
is it about RIE that's you're holding us back?
The first poll is for the solar project specifically. Am I correct or no?
It's never just for one, no, when we have an existing line. So no. Right now it serves other customers besides green, but yes, we're going to use that same distribution line when and if green development gets energized. So we're upgrading poles that are decades old. We're relocating an anchor where it's not supposed to be. We're upgrading the cable. We're upgrading the ampacity. We're upgrading the feeder ties. It's beneficial to customers in that area. And we need the work. That's what's my biggest concern. We're a union and us PMs work together and do our best to allocate efficient work crews. So I don't know why you're holding it back. I just don't understand.
Mr. President.
Yes.
Doesn't seem
If
fair.
if it's, I'm, as long as this poll placement, the first line item, serves other customers, I'm amendable to, if you're amendable to go back and re-vote on that.
Yeah, I'm amendable to revote.
Oh, so Mr. Chimo said that, so the poll is going to be used not solely for green energy. If that's the case, you're saying you want to rescind your vote and make another motion?
Right.
Is that what everybody wants to do?
I would do that.
Mhm.
I do still have concerns that it's going to affect litigation in ways that we're not aware of now. So that's why, to answer the question, that's why I voted no. I mean, I understand that it's separate. I understand what Attorney Zangari said, but we have made decisions in the past where we made changes based on stipulations and then that doesn't happen. And now we're in a bigger mess than we were before. So that's my reservation really, is just that it's going to affect the litigation. We're so close to the end of.
Mr. President.
Yes.
Chris, I'm gonna echo Sam on that. That was the reason for my very first question, is that, am I putting the horse before the cart before the horse in approving this, knowing that I'm still in litigation? And
So you're I think what you're asking, Mr. Nassi, is if you vote to approve the poll, are you somehow weakening your position in the Supreme Court case?
Yes,
The answer is no.
you're 100% sure on that.
As sure as you can be in anything.
Okay.
That is my opinion is you are not hurting the Supreme Court appeal.
I just will ask that it be reflected in the minutes that that's a concern that we had. That way, if somebody tries to tug at a judge's heartstrings and say, well, you know, judge, look, they approved these polls. Right, like even though it's not a legal argument. So I would just like that in reflected in our minutes, which we can do as a council at our next meeting,
Okay.
to be honest.
So do you want to go back on item number 1 and we'll revote?
Mr. President,
Well,
Yes.
I think someone should make a motion to rescind the previous vote and decision. And then if there's going to be a motion to approve, make a new motion and then a new vote.
Mr. President, I rescind my motion originally.
You make a motion
no,
to rescind.
Please make a motion to rescind.
The previous vote.
Previous vote.
Okay. Is there a second?
And I second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 So before I call for a revote, I want to make a statement that I made, is similar to a statement that I made at the last meeting where I'm very disturbed in the way that is it green energy or green development? Green development handled this situation that I don't like things being rammed down the town's throat. And I feel that this was rammed down the town's throat. That being said, I call for a revote on item number 1. How do you vote?
No, we got to make a motion.
Was there a motion?
Mr. President, I move to approve request of Rhode Island Energy, Narragansett Electric, and Verizon New England Inc. to install JLP 15-50 on Shannock Hill Road, petition WR number 3099183.
Do I have a s-
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Mr. President, move to approve the request of Rhode Island Energy, Narragansett Electric to install a new P1, P2, and P3 with anchor install and 12-foot lead length on P3 on Shannock Hill Road, petition WR number 30991420.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Hi, this is George Watson. Thank you, but I have to clear the record here. Those first 2 polls, 15 and 16, these are the 2 polls that cross the culvert.
Mhm.
It's my understanding that green development will be the only people on those polls. In the future, they may be part, I mean, they're going to be part of the distribution system. But as of now, there's no existing infrastructure over there. So green will be the only people on that, on those 2 poles.
Will those poles be available for other utility carriers besides green in the future?
Absolutely.
How much farther in the future?
Tomorrow or whenever they need to be. But right now, there's, as far as I'm aware, there's no present need. But again, I don't know what development's going to go on. So I just want to make sure that's abundantly clear. Poles 1, 2, and 3, those are existing. So there is existing infrastructure on those poles, and the existing infrastructure on those poles will be moved to the new poles. But with respect to 15 and 16 and the culvert crossing, I'm not aware of anything else that's on there because there's nothing right there presently. And so green development's interconnection will be the only thing that will be installed there initially.
President, on number 3, I'd like to file communications relative to pole placement items 1 and 2, A, B.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Mr. President,
Yes.
motion to enter executive session pursuant to RIGL 42-465A2 litigation.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Set,
Need a motion?
motion to return to open session.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Mr. President,
Yes.
motion to seal the executive session minutes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, upstairs, in executive session, we had a motion, we had a settlement offer and we had a vote on that settlement offer. Motion, a motion was made by, Counselor Wilcox, seconded by myself to reject the settlement offer of Green Energy. The vote was taken with 3 yeas to reject, 1 nay to reject, and 1 abstention.
And we could, let's identify who.
Okay, the 3 nay, the three voting to reject would be Counselor Wilcox, Counselor Nasani, myself, Counselor Trimmer. The abstention was Counselor Colasanti, and the nay to reject was made by Counselor
Sheehan.
Sheehan. I'm sorry.
A long day.
He's been up since 4 a.m.
And,
Mr. President,
yes,
motion to adjourn.
Second.
all those in